Distant flickering, screen as scenery. I swear that's bringing it all back again. Great adventures, faces in condensation. I'm going outside to take it all in. You say too late to start, got your heart in a headlock. I don't believe any of it. You say too late to start with your heart in a headlock. You know you're better than this. Wear a different pair, do something out of step. Throw a stranger an unexpected smile. With big intention, still posted at your station. Always on about the day it should have fly. You say too late to start, got your heart in a headlock. I don't believe any of it. You say too late to start with your heart in a headlock. You know you're better than this. Afraid to start, got your heart in a headlock. I don't believe any of it. You say too late to start with your heart in a headlock. You know you're better than this. No walking, you've been hiding, and you look half dead half the time. Monitoring you like machines do. Still got it, I'm just keeping an eye. You've been walking, and you've been hiding, and you look half dead half the time. Monitoring you like machines do. You still got it, I'm just keeping an eye. You know you're better than this. Come make a star, got your heart in a headlock. No, I don't believe any of it. You say too late to start with your heart in a headlock. You know you're better than this. Afraid to start, got your heart in a headlock. I don't believe any of it. You say too late to start with your heart in a headlock. You know you're better than this. That's one of my all-time favorite songs. Hopefully I didn't wreck it for you. Uh, I think we harmonize fairly well. But this was a rich pick when I was my partner, my ex, when I was in Connecticut. He would always be there first with music and um, movies, two M's, music and movies, uh, all, books, literature, all kinds of stuff. We'd get special access pass through his bookstore credentials, and um, that's a whole nother story I won't get into. But this was one of the live shows and all that we went to. U2 Prince. I saw Prince live because of him. Couldn't have done it myself. And so he came home with the woman, if I remember correctly, the woman, one of his coworkers, or I'm sorry, it's through the studio, the pottery studio, and one of the potters, when he was the manager, one of the potters there, her daughter, introduced him to Imogen Heap, and Frau is her the band, different band. This is her kind of by herself. One of the most beautiful voices ever, and the just songwriting skills, and just how she
works with it. So you can follow the link yourself. The whole this whole album is great, is amazing. And there's another one, I forget the name of it. Uh, it's on the set list here. The other album that's really good, and I'm picturing her in the car. The cover of the other album is her in the car, the back seat of a car with the hat and the suit, and I just can't remember the name of it. But it's very good. And she's very talented technically. I think whether or not you can tell it, she's does more with a lot more technical stuff that she's like working. She's out there working, and she's very talented. This cover is pretty good too. So, it's this particular one. It's a month, almost a month after I did the first two, and I just put the premiere out of the first one I did in the series uh, last night. So it's been a while, and so lots happened between then and now, and it's like, wow, okay, I really got to wrap this up because it's getting time. I need to need to finish this first two. I'm doing a premiere in the other one soon, like Monday or Tuesday. My meetings. I don't have any meetings on Monday, so Monday's probably a good day to do it. All right, we're all right. So we're doing it Monday. All right. And so it's still grandma and grandma's birth month. I'm still working on this, working through it. Being family, feeling like part of the family, and so especially in lieu of doing the premiere last night, I was like, I really got to finish this. The more of these that I do, I've always appreciated my mom's support, and I feel that she would be very proud of me, right? Because I'm working, I'm doing stuff. I'm such as it is. This is, the donations are out. It's, theoretically, it's there to make, support itself. But thank God I got the day job. But her thing always with me, just this is a personal video. It really has been that much of a kind of thing for me. And my mom's one goal that she ever had for me, I'll share this, right, is that she said just serve the Lord. That was it. Just serve God. You know, Jesus. She meant specifically Jesus, but serve God. You have to, serve God. You can't, pick a side kind of thing. And so, she didn't say, I don't care, she said, I'd like you to go to college and, and like that kind of thing. And she supported me, but she never told me, like, you know, told me that I had to do some kind of career. Like a lot of parents are very, insistent, and I didn't have that. Or sometimes they don't even care. And that was my dad. Um, but my mom had always been very positively supportive. And I just want to say that. And, she was always there. Right? Just I think that needs to be said that she did her best. She was there. Whether my dad ever showed up or not, like usually not. You know, my mom was always there, and whatever little money she got, she put it towards us and the house, and like she did her best to take care of us, and so kind of in honor of my mom, she liked hearing me sing. And so that's she would go to my recitals and everything. So that's kind of in honor of my mom. And I enjoy that too. This is supposed to be a kind of enjoyable thing. It's not supposed to be depressing. I started out feeling very depressed when I started doing this, and you have to reach out to the universe when you get the worst. Trust the universe will hold you through and get you through. Part of what it is if you've been working the good, on the good path, and you have been following through with that, the universe will kind of meet you on your way, right? I think that's really important to know that and to understand that the universe has your back, right? And it's important for us to remember that we have to do our part, right? I get to do my part. It's really important. If I don't, the universe can't really help me. I haven't put into the account. And so that's part of what me doing this, doing these videos are, in part, is me kind of putting into the account, the goodwill account of the universe toward me. I gotta put in the work, all right, but it's the type of work as well. Like that's, the process. You may not always have to show the process, but certainly, like this has been one of those videos where I've been working on the process, my process of, growth. It's not that I don't believe there is an ascension that's happening. It's just that I have a much different way of looking at it, right? I come from a different place. I think that's fair to say. And so, uh, I I am at the spot that I have to start doing what my mission here is, and my guides have been very helpful in motivating me to be positive, and just a lot has changed. So, it's like I'm kind of on a good wave and upswing and kind of getting a little bit more involved in stuff, getting involved in my own life, I think maybe a good way to put it. I don't know. Doing fun things. All right. Imogen Heap and whatever. It's my channel. I get to do it. Because I love that song and I figure you will love it too, right? Like it's very, very, very moving, right? I can feel it, right? You know much better than that, right? And like that, it's part of what it is the motivation to want to do better for yourself. Right? For me, right? It's two brains, two sides of the brain talking to each other, right? They have to speak well with each other. The feeling, emotional side, and the technical side. Both have the same. That's why I love this. It's not a exact yin yang, but it's like, oh, like there's the two sides of it. Which perspective are you looking at it from? And that's part of what this kind of story, the narrative, the mythos is. The initiate's journey is. It's what perspective are you looking at it from? The growth, what's the steps, what's the process that's involved in this? Of the growth, of the process of moving the energy from place to place. Okay, well, better. It's kind of a stage. This is a stage. Like I don't know. So much has changed. It's like the world is a stage. The stage has changed. And so virtual. Every man has his performance that he does in video. Right. All right. The stage is set. All right. I've transitioned. Right. What helps to do these? I've been working with a person. I'm going to take a personal note here, a side note here, off track. Is that it helps if you've had taken drama classes, or have kind of studied movies, or have a ex who was very into the movie making industry, and the technical aspects of it, but from the performance end. Having actually been, and I've literally been on the stage. I'm not a fan of the spotlight, but I've been on the stage. I've acted, right? Sang at the choir, right? So being here a madcap in front of the camera isn't, that foreign to me. Especially doing the audio video editing stuff. Like it's my love, my heart, right? There you go. That's it. That's partially why these videos are, I don't get a lot of views, but I like them. I like what I do here, and people whose opinion I care about say very nice things. And so that's why I don't mind kind of divesting time to personal kind of things like this. There isn't a script here, and so I'm off tracking of my off track. Thank you for, not getting tired and bored of me here. Uh, and this is a great platform, and I've shared before. This is like me being a, you know, DJ, VJ, vlog, all this at one. This is my wildest kind of dreams come true. I have a very decent following of, certainly the 10 of you, 12, 13, of you that are here consistently every single time and comments, and it changes over time, right? Rotates, A lot of people have been in that, kind of, the terrific 10, rubric. And thank you. Thank you for the long-term supporters. And if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for showing up and being here. And I appreciate everyone at the premiere the other day. Here in this of doing my love, I have been allowed to function as a guide and an emissary to people who are on that kind of a ascension pathway and the growth here. And so, uh, you know, my my mom meant well, but she was like a victim of the Piscean age, as a lot of old folks are, and they've kind of died off. Like uh, science progresses one death at a time, and the new age comes in one death at a time, but they're not gone. They're not in heaven. They're still here in another form. And it's part of what this outside area here is kind of talking about as well. Is like these are kind of the soul matrix, right? Of the 93% of the DNA that belongs collectively to the planet. Right? This kind of egg shape here is the energetic field around a person given unto the free will, right? Your personal body, your sense of autonomy, my I am, where do I give forth of my will, is right there. Right? And so my mom would be very happy to see what I'm doing with this, because this is, in a way, as those of you who were there at the premiere the other night will remember, we're talking about the earth is the church, right? This is, I'm ever more emboldened to do these, earth is a church ascension kind of updates, right? The physicality of the planet, the physicality of ascension, of you're not ascending out of your body, you're ascending into, not away from, not outside of, but just ever more into different form of density, right? And so, without going off track, know your densities, right? So, this is this hat is Aaron's going to stitch this together and kind of put it all together, but I rolled it up, but he offered to sew it, and hopefully we'll be getting some more mix soon. And I have the this other half or so ish of the mix from the last two that I had worked on, and then I think I'll probably go into that soon before I go into the the material, so that I can kind of write up some stuff here, and then allow you to have some coffee at 2424. Synchronicities. I get a lot of them. I get all of them. All of them. You say, "Oh, do you get this?" Yeah, all of them. Every single one of them. You imagine that. Every single one of them. I get the notice, the bulletins. That's what they are. They're bulletins. What are those synchronicity numbers? Yeah, I get them at the top there. 1333, all that, the complex of 313 combinations, and I should make sure to put them all. Yeah, they're all, pretty much there. So, all of them there. And I put my time in military time or 24-hour time, and I get crazy amount of, they're updates, a bullet, like ticker tape, like stock on the stock market. They're to let you know that the spirit they're not just angel numbers, but they're spirit numbers, they're etheric code numbers, they're guild numbers, depending on how you look at it. You know, I could do a series on it, but I'm not going to. All kind of whack jobs will come out of the framework, and I don't want to hear it. Don't want to deal with it. Don't want to hear it. You know, it was like the comments the other day from Mara, whoever. You know, like just yeah, demand Earth. You know, no, okay, yeah, Earth is a church. That's where we're going here. Uh, it's all volunteer. Believe me, you don't have to be here. And if I don't want to hear from you, I'm not going to. Thank you. The 10 of you that I like, I love, right? The family. That's the words for 10 are the family, right? And I've talked about this here earlier video. And we're on the right page. We're doing the good thing here. Thank you all for being here. Remember, like, share, comment, subscribe early and often. You know, hit the button, hit the bell. Comment, leave more comments. Couple comments doesn't hurt, you know. Be having nice, insightful comments. Everyone loves that, you know. I agree. You're wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Right? Yeah. Comment. You comment on your videos. That's how you get them the updates and reminders. It's a stupid algorithm, but it's that you're depending on you to do your work. And you know, so if you like this, thumbs up. You know, make comments, share it, do all that stuff, and it'll keep coming up. You know. Just a friendly YouTube channel, you know, reminder for all of you, you know, this is how it works. All right. So, you know, this has been you know, very helpful to me, and my guides are here with me. And so, you know, me doing these for you guys specifically, you know who you are, you know, Trish, Bradley, Jackie, Julie, uh, uh, Swanee, you know, Arizona Raven, you know, and you know, Wages and the Mark Pyers family, Tommy Scoville, and all you guys. You know, you're wonderful people, and we're here. We're here because we're not all there. Simply put, at least me. I'm speaking for myself, and the both sides of my head. You know, I'm not all right. That's why I'm, you know, doing the right thing. So, you know, before I do these, I meditate and I ask my guides to help me be here with me doing these, and especially when I go off the script. And I just need to say a bit of wisdom for folks that it's been on my mind. I was talking about this or sort of, I've been thinking about it anyway for the last couple of days about the pathway and doing the right thing. Is that, in all honesty, that pathway of doing the right thing is not well lit and it's not well maintained, right? So in some ways you're blazing a pathway, the right path, you know, but it's there in your DNA and your cellular biotics know if you pay attention to it. Body dysmorphics need not apply here. Yet, however, more to the point, more so, we come forth with the understanding of what is happening at this time, right? And it is important to not lose track of where, you know, where I'm going, where you're going, where we're all going. You know, like it's bad enough to get off the script and forget, you know, forget the point of what I am here doing, but it is also important not to forget what you know, the greater point of what we're all doing here. You know, and in my humble opinion, it's bringing forth the light, the inherent light in me, myself, and the individual, you know, part by singing, dancing, in part opening up the heart chakra here, the heart center, in part by doing what makes us happy. Okay. And so the pathway may not be well lit, right? And we may kind of stumble and fumble and forget where we're at, okay? May not always know the right pathway, but fairly guarantee you will know a wrong path. You may not know the right path, but you will likely know what the wrong path is. Like, I'll just humbly submit that, if that makes sense to you, that I don't always know the right path, but I know what not to do. Right? And I've made a lot of the next wrong decisions in my life. And so that's one of the things they remind us in the program is do the next right thing. If you just don't know what the right thing in this moment is, right? Just do the next right thing. Right? And maybe that way isn't blocked or whatever, just don't always keep trying to plow ahead when, maybe the road ahead is blocked, it's part of the ascension and the growth path is knowing when you're on the wrong path and not continuing to go down it, and take the pathway of heart, and like these two images here, I have this up for a reason, right? It's just these are two sides of the same exact thing, of the same coin. The two, one is not more beautiful, I humbly submit to you, one is not more beautiful than the other, even though mine is better, right? This one over here is mine, right? It is naturally better because I did it, of course. But with the humble love and respect of the artist, both of us being equal, maybe not equal talents or equal gifts, but equal in a lot of ways, not always, but in the ways that matter to me, and maybe hopefully to you, that you can see it, and I've explained it, why this is up here, because I kind of need the boost. This is what I do with my spare time, that I'm not doing videos, I'm not doing this great love of my life, I'm not fumbling over the words here, arguing with people in the, premiere. I love all things and places and times here on this planet. And so the mechanic knows, but like a car, an automobile, if you will, right? You have the part in the cabin where the passenger sits, right? Make it comfortable, these creature comforts for the passengers. And then you have the technician, the mechanic, that knows how not only all the creature comforts work, but as well how the innards work of the engine, right? And so that's part of what this, the beauty of this, of the two of these working together, is that one is not more beautiful, because it's mine. Well, yeah, okay. But it's made only more beautiful by the fact of where it goes, right? That to me, that I'm not the only one who sees this. And there's even the 2 or 3 of you here among the 10 of you that can see exactly what I see that I really care about. 2 specifically, the 10 of you that, the nameless 2 of you, Smooperville, that would see what I see there and explain. I can't even really explain it. I have, and just, it's beyond words to be able to explain it, and that's what seeing here is. That I don't care if any actually, even if the rest of you see it or know it. I know this person who did this knows exactly what I'm talking about, right? And that's what does it for me. Just, that's the pathway of heart right there. There isn't anything else, right? There's no technological, any bullshit gamma 5D blah blah blah. No. If you don't know where the ascension starts, this one does. That's exactly. God help the rest of you. I'll just say that. If you don't know, which this one knows, or this one on the other side knows, your 5D gamma showing up with the spikes and woo woo. Screw you. Ascensionism, Ascensionists. Don't get me started, please. Sara ama shahada uwa mfumpunta satrach kadara uwa mbafupuntu uwa mbafumpa ach alta. Cantasta ach ara uwa mfumpa turo ushamu uwa uwa baba baba. Machada ada. We are here to learn what the Creator has for us here. We're at the eternal forest with the campground all around us. Are the the tents of the angels and the forest of the eternal and the ever mighty, and blah 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 blah. Right. With the amethyst flame that incinerates everything that is not to our highest and greatest good. Right? And we ask of, the Creator to sit with us as we do this, and to just open ourselves to what we should know here, even me, right? This is a journey. This is a trip. I want this to be as done as we can make this, right? Just now and now, not now. We want this done now. So I need to do this now. I need to, get this happening. So this is a good point. We're almost at 40 minutes, right? I'm going to play some Aaron mix. I don't know. Maybe I'll do another Imogen, Heap song. She's got another few other that are like, wow. Why not? My I think my mom might like her, but grandma I think might have liked her. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I like her. So on that cheery note, we got the mix, Aaron's thingamabob. All right, so I need to say something. Thank you for mentioning about the my voice being low on the other videos. So this one I have it cranked up a little bit more. I had the beginning of it, I had a little bit low, and then I had noticed it because I watched the level here. I have this set up for a certain reason, and I have the OBS system. This is just training here, so I'm looking right at the meter, and so that way I know when I'm hitting the peaks, and so I don't ever want it to go into the red, but because there was such an outcry, and I always have the music, I think the ticking of the Premiere thing is louder than the video. So I'm kind of, I'm working with this, of course there's the third one, so can't remember what I did in the other one, but whatever, I don't care. It's now, it's always the now, I don't know how many of you saw the Waking Life, but as Linklater says there, it's always the right now, and that's pretty much what it is. All the saints, all the everyone, all the everything, it's just now. It's always a now moment, but a whole bunch of them, and whatever. Sometimes they crash and overlap, but whatever. Thank you all for being here and indulging me in my insanity, my mentalness, and my mental disgrace. I think that would be my other handle would be mental disgrace. Oh, I'm tittering and all the giggles from that. So yeah, God save the rest of you if you don't know what this one knows. All right, so part 3, we're gonna go into some Aaron mix. All right. Enough with me. Nobody's ever gonna love this way. You don't have to rush to take your time. You do your own thing and I'll do mine. Care to prove that I can play your game. Nobody's ever gonna love this way. on. All right, enough. All right, come on. Pause it off. All right, okay. Anyway, so I have this set up here. The magic of the studio. Part of how it works is as the engineer, you got to see the level. So I don't, Alex, my musician friend is always big on the headphones. And I told him why I'm not is because I'm not the talent. I'm the technician. I'm looking at the meter and to see where it's pegging. You need to hear yourself because you've got the guitar, and it's like it's not a mystery to me. And so it's part of one of the things of doing this that I guess all right, I'm going to digress here for part of the love of doing this here with Alex of the studio. I don't ask me where he is. I'm not sure. He's working things out with his family, and he's up in the next state up in Mass. And so but the studio, back to the studio. When I was designing this, I had him in mind, and to make it as a communal, both of us kind of thing. And to kind of show him how the technology works. And, he was all very impressed when he saw it working, and he was amazed at how quickly I got everything up and running, and especially the hardware and everything. And so, I have this, from my experience, this is part of, one of the things of why I'm so, kind of engaging, this may not be popular, but I think this channel is successful. I have 2,000, 2,700 people. If you got all 2,700 people in a room, how many of them would you talk to? 10. Right? I can guarantee you that. The more people, the less of them you would likely talk to because they'll talk to themselves. You don't know them, right? The 10 of you that I care to talk to. There you go. The table seats 10. 12 because they're always here, right? Technically, whatever. But the 10. Verti's terrific 10. And so lost my track. The this is what it was. The measure of this is not non-monetized, right? This wasn't set up as a moneymaker, right? This was set up to disseminate some information, right, to the people who are ready, right? Which isn't many, I assure you. At the point of what we are trying to convey. This isn't even the most advanced stuff, right? And so, we're working on donations. This is labor of love. My mission here, the goal is to, but the few of you who are ready to bring you from them, the information here. It's needed. I don't have anything else. I'm like this is it. Like everyone's got their part, everyone's got their mission. I have the technical information and the thinking and the processing, the being able to connect the dots where no one else does, and just it's crazy rambling here or not, like there's a lot of stuff that needs to be ciphered through, and people it's coming the time they're telling me that I got to start working with people one-on-one to kind of get them up to more speed on the higher order shit, and so that's part of what doing this is to provide a portal to people of the truly highest stuff than the rest of you could do, because you do not have the clear, concise link to exactly what the source is without the thinking involved of it. Just the portal, I don't even know how to explain it. It's there, up here. It's just other than just, there you go. There you go. I can't explain it to you. Just there, right there, you know? Um, Headlock, right? It's sort of why, that's sort of what that is, you know? Just the picture, the in the mind, in the head. What is your thinking allowing to get through or not get through? Right? Where is your thinking based? Like, can't separate yourself from the emotional side. The electric versus the magnetic. They're not, they both go together. They work as a team. They, they're two directions. This is part of what doing this is as well, is explaining to people the connection between the two and the understanding of the forces involved, that they work together, sometimes a little more separately than others, sometimes way more on the magnetic, sometimes more on the electric, but at some point they're going to meet, and you, the person, is the receptor of it or not. You can choose to not accumulate it, or you do, right? Electrically, you can disassociate yourself from it, but magnetically, you're linked in some way. How clear is your thinking on the matter? Oh no, right? How foggy and cloudy is your thinking? And that's part of, the headlock. What's holding up your head from the clear thought? And it's not processing of math and science and imaginary numbers and all that shit, but it's processing the magnetic side, right? The electric has to be subservient to the magnetics of the the gravity of the situation. Right? It's formless. It's otherwise formless, right? It's not leading anything, right? It's free until it gets captivated by the magnetics. This is part of what the message of this is, the higher order message. Um, I don't know. This is why I stick to the script. I don't know. It's difficult for me once I get lost to try and find my way back. You don't always know what the right pathway is, but you know what the wrong pathway is, right? It's sort of one of the reasons why you set forth the I the the principles, right? And set forth the you can't walk away, you can't run away from whatever your destiny is. You got to be there. You got to be present for it. Show up is 90% of the tough part in a job. So, all right, I wrote all this stuff. I have a bunch of more stuff that I have to do a video of, and it's like, oh, it's way over people's heads. But you keep supporting me, right? Keep me drinking my coffee. Thank you. Oh no, that's the food stamps. No, never mind. But you do allow me to pay the insurance on my van, the Vanagon, the Van Dominium, the mobile or more mobile or studio. Thank you. So all right, maybe I should just stop talking loud, or maybe I'll turn the volume down. No, I'll just let it peg at the red. I'm fine with that. It's not an actual physical meter. It's not hurt nothing, except yours maybe. I don't know, but you won't be complaining that it's too quiet. I'll tell you that. So it's a good thing I work behind the scenes. Otherwise, because if I had the temperament and the whatever wherewithal to corral people, to get people and to be social, I am charming. I could be charming. I could be a lot more charming and get people, and oh man, I could do stuff. But I'm not that. I'm not in that. I'm a behind the scenes guy. I'd rather just transmit love from heart to heart without anyone knowing it or whatever. And nope, can't do that. You're one of the primary one of the top people that know how this stuff technically works, and we're in the age where this is what's happening, right? That's the internet, work of connecting through the heart, the magnetics, and the narrative of the Ascension stuff is ridiculous bullshit, in my humble opinion, right? It's just not. It's not gamma, not 5D as you think it is, and whatever. Um, so, but part of it is, right, getting in connection with the genetics, the DNA that is untapped, essentially. Not by the military, God forbid, but how you send and transmit messages telepathically. This is what kind of this is the sensing side, is the 93% of the genetics that's essentially untapped, that people have to kind of figure out. It's not through the thinking and the mental work, right? I don't go into that. But that's not where it comes from, the processing. You can't out process the physical restraints of the brain itself, right? The brain is a physical container, unless, I don't know, maybe you're a head in a jar on a shelf somewhere in the Matrix. Well, I guess that's a thing, right? How would you know otherwise? You wouldn't know. Maybe you're there. I don't know. Get out of my way. Just stop talking to me. I don't know. It's up to you. If you can't tell the difference, I don't know. Whatever. Don't get me started. But that's part of what is important to understand, is how we transmit the senses that we have, is collectively, what this really truly means. Again, I have a much different view on this than the long-term humans who've been conditioned to think a certain way about this, and it's like, at your own detriment. I don't care. I'm doing my part. Yet there has to be an understanding. It's a collective effort. You can't give up. You can't. You can't. Right. You can't just give up. Right? And what that is giving up on yourself first. Right? Love, you love yourself first, and then it all kind of follows in place. It's part of what is wrong, is the good things, is the love for self, and not greed, right? Ego is, like, there's a lot of misbalanced, unbalanced, thinking of, and it's just time for healing of all of that. And it's just love yourself, love your neighbors, like you treat them as if you treat yourself. Like you run yourself over with a horse. Well, I don't know, So part of one of the reasons why we can't just let things just kind of go slip, like not with ourselves moving from 3D, like that's not how it's happening, is that it's all the genetic pool of us, of the planet, that has to get healed and worked through. And part of it is with the mindset, the divided mindset of the planet, right? Or I'm sorry, the divided mindset of the human on this planet, right? We're split brain. They're one of the, how do I say this? One of the more unique characteristics of the human is the split brain. The two different hemispheres that are cross-wired, that isn't really able to be studied adequately in the way that you need. And you have to go inside internally to be able to kind of rectify the two halves hemispheres, which don't really seem to be able to talk to each other well. All right. So if, I think a important process there to doing that, to connecting the two, is the plant magic. And it's, don't be frivolous about it. It's not a recreation. But it's like, that's kind of the only hope for the people, to is be united with the planet, You know, the humans as a isolated item are not doing well. You know, and if you take, we have God-given rights. If you take God out of the equation, you've taken those God-given rights away, and you've left them up to dictators to dictate to you what your rights are, and they won't give you rights because you need to take them at that point. You know, if you don't have a God, you know, like you are really fucked. You know, like just you know, like I don't know what to say other than you know, like there is more than there is more to this than just you know simple short ends by dic- dictatorial wannabes. And I'm talking about the situation to the north of us that's kind of in my mind. Um, that, you know, it's like it's part of what the needs to happen is that, you know, the damaged people need to heal. And like there's a lot of lines that need to kind of be drawn, and the only way to get past it is to not feed into the rhetoric, right? And that's the service of the, you know, the servitude of the rhetoric is an important thing to get past, right? With the humans, right? Is that, you know, it's really the the words and the word forms that are the worst enemy to the humans, right? To the long-term residents of this planet. In lieu of, in place of a, you know, an actual physical construct, hands-on construct, you depend on the words and people telling you what something means or whatever. And so there's I talk about here about slavery and bondage and servitude and overlord of the the rhetoric and the dialogue and getting past the word forms and the rhetoric and the dialogue through the intuitive side or a heart center opening up that you can have an intuitive understanding of a situation of people and of persons and what their motives are and you know this kind of a thing and when, properly speaking, when the heart center opens up, it's not closed, right? And you start feeling the feelings that are the most important part of being here as a human is that collectiveness of the feeling center of you connecting with the other, which is people you may not otherwise have been, you know, previously, you know, predisposed to have talked with or to open up to. You now are forced to have a discussion with them because you realize you are also one of those people. Right? And this is an important thing to understand that the we, like more than anything else, I think, like this is just a real important thing to understand is that by opening it up, you and yourself of opening that up and creating a burning heart, like you're not literally burning, but that's burning brightly, heart center, you will of nature being within the presence of others start that process in them working. That's exactly how it happens. There is no choice for it to otherwise engage, and that is the birthright of human. All people can have that experience, can have it open. Then, with it open, right, it's just that's where change can really truly happen on a societal level. Without that opening up, it's just empty words in the head. Rhetoric, right? There's a big difference between speaking and doing. And people are known through their actions, right? All right. So with that said, all right, let's we'll get into the material, I think. Oh, there's a good deal of it. I don't know. Let's play a little bit more music and I'll get into, it's good. I'll have some coffee, take a break. So, oh, 10, 110, 110. All right, that's very nice. All right. So yeah, that's a sign. All right. Let's play some more music. Yeah, I kind of do have something special going on. I have a wonderful group of subs who are family and friends. Thank you very much. You all are wonderful. Thank you for being here. So I gotta get back on track. I have to tell you, if I had the ability, I would sit us all at the campfire with amethyst flame and just make a picture for you so you could see it and not have to actually use words. Uh, that's the worst experience of being here is having to talk. So much is lost in the language, the confusion, and people don't mean to be confused, they just are. And especially if it's something that you're not familiar with, you haven't worked with, it's just rhetoric, it's empty words in the head. Just rather not even talk. You got something special. You guys, you advanced ones of you got something special. That's why we do this, to motivate your upbeat, keep the beat moving, right? The feet moving, the beat moving, the rest of you will follow. You don't feel like it. I hear you. I'm with you. We did another little bit more. You just, like, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I'll say that. Okay, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been up all night. I still need to do this video. I still have I don't know how much more reading to this. I'm gonna make some coffee now. I think I should just play some more music. Cause honest to goodness, just we're here for. I'm gonna play some music until the end of the mix, and then find something else. All right. So if you all don't mind, I'm gonna play some more Aaron mix because I need some coffee. Coffee is love. The planet loves you with coffee. Just know that. The plants are here to heal you. Coffee does its part. I think we're at the end of the mix, and I haven't finished my coffee yet. All right, let's. Where are we at? I'm not ready to read. I don't want to read. I have a bunch of stuff. Let's just play some more mix. I got anything else on here? No, we already played that. What else we got? I do like this. All right. Let's see what's on here. All right, here we go. We're looking for the air mix. Oh, the depression mix. How about that? All right. Maybe you won't be depressed. All right, I am. The anti-depression mix.
But then we'd be here all night. I'm here instead to teach you how to Changing the course of history need not be a mystery. We need all you brothers, sisters, and allies to realize the promised contractual obligation made to this nation before we lose it all to a Lion King Khan's plans for desecration. The rule of law should mean no more discrimination, misogyny, bigotry. There needs to be equalization. Bring everything to fix this problem you know how to do. The healing of this world will take place through creating your part and adding it to our crew. So here's what I want y'all to do. Write, speak, march, talk, build, support, listen, learn, work, protest, study, heal, hug, search, achieve, mediate, meditate, teach, feed, cook, dance, sing, fundraise, litigate, kneel, vote, vote, vote. If you think systemic racism has no meaning, you're the one this movement needs to be teaching. If you think defund the police means no more security, it's your tax dollars we need to help refund the community. Those who make change impossible, make revolution inevitable. Those who make change impossible, make revolution inevitable. Rise up, because this is for you. Rise up, because it's the right thing to do. Rise up with your family, allies, and friends. Rise up, because this is for you. Rise up, because it's the right thing to do. Rise up until racism ends. We are the
on back. Bring it. Slow the spoons down. Yep, get off the lap. Alright, come on. Bring it on back. Alright. We're back. Fuck. Alright, where'd I go? Alright, there. Alright, the OBS vanished. Alright. Okay. So that's at 1:48:48. Then I wrote that down. Best parts of me, yeah, so a lot of these songs really do kind of, me to you. This is, truly me to you. Thank you. I wouldn't otherwise be able to connect to you guys. Like, I wasn't doing these videos, and you all are wonderful, my Red Cross. I love this thing. I found that on the road. It's technically, I think it's a mask. It's not really. It's a covering of some sort. So Aaron, the fashion master, is gonna kind of fashion something, and maybe light. I don't know. But when he was over here, I forgot to give it to him. Yeah, I'm liking the look of that. And if I had matching glasses, maybe that would be a cool ass thing. But anyway, onward and upward. Thank you for being here. We all are wonderful. I joke about my content being Aaron mix vehicles, and I really do like the DJ quality side of doing this. I vacillate between playing too much music, but it's like, what? It's like this is as close to a Christmas thing as I'm getting. I'm still cheering, celebrating, whatever. There should be more holidays, like, all right, I'm a motivator. I'm a bright light to, a lot of people. Like, so Aaron, he's a walking fashion statement. I wish you guys could see him. I need to take picture. I don't take nearly enough pictures of him, and it's not always relevant to the the thing, but it's like my personal life. I see him enough. It's like every time I'll take an Aaron mix break because he doesn't know exactly how much you guys love him. And I said the Aaron mix is exclusive, pretty much. Obviously not exclusive, but it's the house, soundtrack for the channel is the Aaron mix, right? And it's not that we don't have other music. It's just we got the house, the channel, house channel, whatever. It's house is the house. House is the house. Anyway, so like I get to take pictures of him, but anytime I see him, I always ask, "Oh, what's new?" Look at his clothes. What'd you do? Right? I always ask him that. What'd you do? What'd you add? What's new? Not like going to general sense. What did you? What are you working on? It's his canvas. His clothes are his canvas. And I apologize for I don't realize sometimes and he doesn't and realize the light that he is in people's lives, but and especially the reflective clothes. So I'm like, oh yeah, of course you put a reflector somewhere your clothes have a reflector on it or silver, like I fucking love him. And if you saw what he wears, like just that new, whatever. It's like, oh, I had the. He'll come over. He'll be like, oh, it was in the closet for 5 years, and I just decided to bring it out. And I'm like, oh, motherfucker, yeah, of course you did. You did. Like, just this was the day. It was in there for 5 years. You broke it out today, of course. And you sewed some pockets on it as well, of course, and it from a sock you had, a couple of socks. No, of course, like what else would you do with your old socks or your shirt? You turned it into a longer shirt, with reflecting yarns thread. You'd stitch a reflector, a bicycle reflector into something if I gave it to him. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, I love him. So that's why he's our channel house music, is because he's fucking fabulous. He's God's DJ, and there is no other, and if I had the link, I'll find the link and put Aaron the link to his House of Aaron, mix channel, for what it's worth. Onward and upward. I got to, get on with the material. Read the script, get back to the money shot. Oh my God, 155. I'm doing this early in the day, so I'm not keeping anyone up, and it's nice. I feel good. I'm inspired. My guides are with me. They're the people. Y'all are with me. Uh, and I'm just, I got some meds recently delivered. Especially seeing from, uh, the two people that matter the most at this point, right? Pam and Jacqueline, they're the furthest along. For the people that I know that are here, right? Just in a lot of ways. And so they motivate me, they inspire me, right? And so, I need to, it's a reciprocal thing, a symbiotic thing, like we bring love and light into each other's lives in the way we can. And so I bring a lot to this, and it's time for the techno geek to, step up. And, all my life skills kind of have led to this. And again, this is a beyond my wildest dreams. um, and it's helping me not be so morbidly wanting to exit into the next phase, right? We got to finish up this one first, and like caramba, a lot going on, and so I'm supposed to be bringing the higher order shit here, and it's, I don't know, if you had to put it in your head, you wouldn't be sane, but then you're not sane anyway, we're all kind of nuts in our own way. And fortunately for me, I have been able to, I have a certain command of the language technically that I'm able to transmit of some higher order stuff. But there is a point that is the language of the heart that we all have to learn. And so there's this expression, the heart is a filter. Right? The heart is a filter. And the filter can get dirty. So you plant plants in it to grow and clear the filter. Right? Like, this is a concept of planting plants in people's hearts, as it were, flowers. Planting flowers in people's hearts that allow things, that which that is wonderful to come forth, right? And it's a metaphorical expression for for spreading beauty in the world. Like, oh my God, 157.57. Right? You're spreading beauty into the world. 157.57. Spreading beautiful into the world. Right? That is a synchronicity. It's just, that's what planting. It's the flower, the little flower of life there, right there in your heart. You see that, right? It's that nexus point where it all comes together, if you will. It's a loop. That's what the eight, the infinity is. This torus field, right? And among other things, it's the oh, good golly, it's the ability to connect to everything, if you will. Right? I don't know. I can't get into it more complicated than that, but because part of the job is to distill it down into simple terms. But part of what is this kind of push is technical, right? And so I'm forever kind of divided on a lot of this stuff of how to keep it simple and how to explain it technically, right? Uh, and in all things, it's the balance of it. Right? So I look at this, right? We can be prisoner to the rhetoric. We can, you know, block our head through the words we use, right? So that's a big part of doing this is understanding how, like, before getting into this, like, I just kind of need to, I guess, preface. Maybe I don't, but I think I sort of need to preface this. It's a month, almost a month after the last video. I don't know where I was. I know I'm here, part 3, right? Just there's a lot going on. A lot happened between then and now, right? The Canadian thing has happened, right? And it's like, that's part of why I'm wearing that. That was not on even anywhere on my radar a month ago. And now it's like I'm looking at this, and then I'm thinking of the rhetoric that shithead in charge of the Canada is taking over the dictatorship. It's like the growth of the human race does not happen through the words, right? Clearly, using words in themselves have failed, right? So what you're left with is having to redefine how communication is made, how communication is done, right? I talk about the poles. The poles are drifting, and they have to restabilize. But part of what's happening is the planet is also going through a reversal. It's not a frequency shift that's happening. That's sort of, but not really. It's not even close to what people believe it is. It's not a frequency that's happening, right? It's a polarity that's shifting. Okay, so right as I said, it's a polarity shifting. It's O2, O2, exactly, on the counter. It's a polarity shift. O2, O2, OO. Yes, they've spoken. It's not a frequency thingamabobber. It's a polarity thingamajigger. Right? Hopefully that made sense to you. I don't want to make it too technical or too complicated, but it's not a doozy woppy. It's a thingamajigger, right? That's a different whole thing or bobber, different than what you're, let's see. All right. I'm just modeling this where I like it best. I guess X marks this kind of spot, the middle of it. I think I'm looking for it to be in the middle. Just designing the set. I guess I think I'm a little dizzy now. Dizzier. All I need is a campfire. When I have the Van Dominium mobile studio working, I'll have an outdoor, I'll be doing an outside fire, and I'll be kind of out west, and we'll be living life grand with family, and we'll be at Union with smoopers and doopers and whatever. But anyway, in the meantime, onward and upward. So I'm at part 3. I talked about the 93% of the genetic coding DNA, 7% that's allowable to mutate epigenetics. It is, like I said, epigenetics. The 93% is the genetic code that's connected to the planet itself. That's a magnetic connection, right? Primarily magnetic. It's all they have both. The resonance, it harmonizes, it vibrates, oscillates. That is the collective consciousness at work, is the 93%, the so-called common sense, which isn't, it's not really either, but it is. It's what senses it. It's, like a sense of balance, or, all sorts of other things. Sense of worth, sense of self-worth, sense of your place. Swanee, that I would do a thing on otoliths, which is essentially the brain dust. It's a magnetic dust that's in the brain that activates through the magnetic lines of force. It's a way that the animals and humans, but more the animals because they're smarter, find their way home. All right. So we have that within us, and the ear is an otolith, little tiny small bones that are magnetically charged. They can act up through the piezoelectric principle. This right here is part of, it's a kind of demonstration of the 93% in action, if you will. I've explained it back and forth. It looks good together. I think maybe what I'll do is find another picture as well and kind of draw it up next to that. And you can see, and we'll start a little group of it, and you can see how it'll all together in happy unionship, because all of those lines of force magnetically connect. This is part of the discussion here, is of the communication ability, right, of the DNA itself to, without outside interference, to connect one to another through the power of thought. The picture, it doesn't even have to be the picture of the face like me, but there's now 3 of us lined up, and if I put up some more of these on the screen, you could start seeing them as a group working together, operating together. But it's not until you kind of know how it sort of works from the inside out, from the feeling sense, the inside, the and the DNA side, that you really start connecting with the next, you have 93% in your favor, right? If you've met the person, you see them, you know them, locally. That's how it works locally. It's your tribe. It's your tribe, right? And so as you connect with them, boom, it gets inactivated. This sparks up. It starts sparking up, and that's what she's showing you here. That's how this is working. These lights, these points of lights, right, around her, right? That as you connect up with people, you link up with them through that power that's inherent, can, as a group, affect a huge change, which I will argue with you probably won't be shown up as such on the Schumann resonance spectrogram, right? The Schumann, right? Doesn't mean it won't happen, right? I'll put money on it, right? Well, it's a scientific thing that you're going to keep establishing at the times. You got to keep track of the times, right? You do it science, right? That's what it's about. That's the difference between science and myth, or science and magic. Like science depends on you to keep track of the time, link up the times. The universe, right? I'll help you with that. I'm sure. Better be gosh darn sure I will help you with that link, figuring out all that time stuff. But the point is, like, that's one of the things you got to figure out. You got to keep a log at the time, your local time. We'll link it up with blah blah blah. But anyway, notwithstanding all that, it's like that. Anyway, back to the non-scripted scripted and non-scripted whatever. That it's a group event, and the group together acting as a group can affect the change greater than the one itself, her itself can, right? And I will attest to that. That's why you do the tea, the vegetal, the ayahuasca as a group. It's much more effective. That's how we are able to affect the rain and the weather and whatever in a significant way through collective consciousness. And we're able to affect the elements and whatnot by, that linking up with that greater consciousness. And in a greater sense, you can have a greater power over things in that 93% than you can in the other side. I humbly submit to you. I don't know how to put that into action. It is the theory behind this. I'll just say that this is all. I'm not calling it hypothetical. um, I'm going to call this esoteric, and I will be talking about the esotericism in one of the next videos. That's one of the reasons I got to close this out, because there's stuff in the background, like this is, I got to close out grandma's, remembrance and all this, and, bring this dissertation to a wonderful, happy, loving end, an inspirational, motivational thing, with you guys. Um, you know, and so it's really important to learn how to communicate through that, right? That how to develop that, and not the oh, I don't know. There's got to be a balance, right? That's the biggest deal of this, right? That both sides have to talk, right? I mean, it's just whether it's both sides of the head, both sides of a relationship, or the ruler of a country with the people, you got to talk. You have to learn to talk. And the part of it is the language. What language are you using? Right? If you, I, sometimes the esoteric side of this actually does, there's, how do you say this? There's a metaphor, there's an analogy, there is a, allegory that comes with a lot of with the initiate's pathway, so that the the negative forces of the dark don't, like they don't impede your progress. And having a code unto the people, I think is the best way to put it, of action, is a way of tapping into that 93% of where the power is, right? I'm kind of speaking in esoteric terms, for those who know. I think that's a good, fine way to put it, right? For now. And I think, well, as I'm kind of going here on the esoteric note and these higher chakras, right? If we haven't talked about it, these are the chakra points, the assemblage points, okay? And I know there's a few of you initiates out there, neophytes, or I think that's the next level up from initiate as a neophyte. Neo is new. It matters. It means something to the group, the power of the group, the initiated. We hold the power. We know, those of us who know are able to affect up the upper centers. We'll just say the upper assemblage point. If we to get together in a heightened sense of awareness, we would force open the eye. We'll just say the eyes of the rulers, so that they could see. We'll put it into a general sense like that. There is a need, an urgency to kind of work with that assemblage point at a higher order, to open the eyes to see its own reflection of who it is. I'll just say that. Right? So the 93% of the human experience that gets excluded by human thinking, right? So all of this bullshit and the rhetoric, rationalizing common sense, right? All right. And other constructs of the mind, or mind, right? I spelled it 3 different ways, right? Like the language, is the thinking that keeps the human in bondage and servitude and slavery to those who would serve as your overlord gods, right? So such as the dictator now, current dictator in charge of Canada, right? Who seized, he usurped, right? There's some good words for that. Usurped power, right? There's words for what dictators do. He's not a benign dictator in any way, shape, or form. Thing in charge of the country of Canada, right? That's taken over your once peaceful nation, right? The beings of the lower astral were pulling the strings, right? Who depend on the silicate-based technology to attract and trap and enslave the population. Right. The poles are drifting, right? So I'm going to even put this in. Right? Time stamp on that. Spoken. Thanks for coming here to the office with me. Yeah, the polarity is shifting, right? It's not the frequency, it's the polarity, right? You got to remember. All right, so as I think a lot of you know, I post the written script on Patreon, and the YouTube description is usually more stuff I add, But I think in this case, I didn't even post the first round of edits on this, so I'm doing this on the spot. Yeah, lucky me. So like I said, the frequency of the planet, the frequency of the Schumann resonances there, then four, right, are not rising. That's not what's happening. The polarity is shifting, and a lot of things are changing, and shifting and moving, and so I'm working to work through it with people so that we understand it, and the mental part of it can grasp what's happening. Okay, the poles are drifting and set to re-stabilize in a new geolocation. This is a periodic thing that happens on this planet. It's cyclical, right? Every so many, it's part of it's a cycle. It's a great cycle. Right? Like, all right, so with this one comes the weakening magnetic poles, but apparently they can swap whenever, despite the pole strength. Like, all right, whatever. And some people think all this is a myth. That's fine. It's bullshit. And some people think it's global warming or climate change or whatever. Like, all right, that's fine. And, you might think this is all bullshit, right? Okay, the thing about the pole shift, that's fine. Everyone's got their opinion. But let me just say, there is, by the people in charge, they seem to have lost their mind, right? In many cases, like the United States, certainly, right? Just that thing in charge of the White House is out of its head, and the one in charge of the neighbor up there, he's oh, God help humanity if he's the best example. Seriously, that being needs some work, and that's kind of what we're talking about here, is activating the 93% of it that's not really open at this point, right? Get it fired up, right? Just essentially, like, that's what the goal is of this type of thing. This is the advanced work, right? This is the true ascension, like, this is 6D, 60 living, right? Density and dimension, both. Bang, right there. She, her, us, this, all of this, right? Hold on for a second. And there you have it. Okay. So this is my diagram. Just a simple, like, schematic, I think. Hopefully you can read that. I think you can read that, right? Energy flow diagram number 1, human heart. Heart is an energy transceiver. That's what this is here. This is the heart center energy is directed by the consciousness, the imagination. The bottom half is an energy receiver. So it's a transceiver, a transmitter, right? It receives and transmits, right? Transceiver, that's what that is. And so this is basically the power pump of the heart. This is different from the Schumann. This is a different strength than the Schumann energy, but you can carry it along on that carrier wave if you're at the right frequency. There's a carrier wave. It's not just frequency. There are harmonics and subharmonics that are buried within it, that, like music, right? And so it's important to understand that, how this works. We're here. All right. So This may be one of the happiest moments, certainly today, and probably this week, and maybe this month, and this year, this decade, right? This century. I'm 53. This moment here, right? This is a nexus, right? Boom, here. 222, 2, all the twos coming up. Bang, 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 here. You, me, this, us, together. Here, this is it. This is it. Right here. Right? This is it. This is what I came here to tell you. What is important about the DNA itself. The 3D that you're missing. Maybe not you, the 10 of you, you're fine. Right? But the rest of you, right? The ones who aren't her, right? Or me, like this is what is important about opening up the centers of the assembly centers of the emotions, emotional and skill set and your history and who you are and all you're unlocking the DNA is here, right? This through this. You wouldn't believe the power that they're trying to suppress otherwise from getting you to know this right here. And that's why it's important for me to be here with you to do this. Because everything's swapping and flipping over and coming to a deafening roar because they won't let you have what's yours when it's right here. That's the way to affect change. The only way on this. But hey, whatever, believe what you want to. All right, so back to the text. The poles are drifting and set to reestablish in a new geolocation. This is the periodic thing that happens on the planet, all right? With it comes a weakening magnetic field, right? And that happens, at least in this time, and you see it. It happened. When you do the research, you can see the same thing that has happened before, right? With this comes a number of other factors, right? That are coming in for the planet, right? You see on my playlist, there's all kinds of shit I have about the different stuff happening. The water, liquid water. Oh, it's not the rising sea levels. Yeah, it is. That's liquid water is rising sea levels in your backyard, all the places you don't want it, as sinkholes open up the ground. Yeah, the water's going to find its place. It's find its level. The humans did what they did. It's time for the planet to kind of heal and claim its autonomy back in some ways, and the humans need to heal as well. The dangerous ones in some other place that isn't Earth, while the ones of us that love Earth heal her and love her. And this way here, through the 93% of us that are in union with the planet and the plants. It's more the plants first, right? Give us back our fucking plants, please. All of them. Right? The ones you're holding hostage. All of them, you fuckers. I'm not going to say more. Humans can construct... it's not necessarily for the human who's ignoring the 93%. Humans can construct all sorts of mental walls and experiences and the Nazi flags and all of that rhetoric based on plug-in technology, right? The AI mind, hive mind is telling it, no, the Earth School is not the Matrix. Right? The Earth itself, herself, is not the Matrix. I assure you of that. But your plug-in technology turns it into such, certainly the Large Hadron has, that the device is hands-free or Bluetooth or Wi-Fi is a minor point to the greater issue of one being jacked into the network of the AI hive mind, plugged into the network, the Internet of Things. In some posts, I've mentioned Araman. This is the deification or the technological god. I'm not sure how you want to put it, but the god behind the technological, advances that are taking over the world, polluting them, unbalancing the humans, disconnecting them. All of that. You are assisting with the personification of technology to embody Araman as you insert the Fitbit into your life on your arm or whatever, somewhere, or you inject the technology into you somewhere, and the jammy jam, Clovis, the jab, as we like to call it, the stab, spike, the booster. That's one of those things. The mark of the beast. Yep. absolutely, abso-fucking-lutely. You know, if you got the shot, hey, yeah, I won't hold it against you personally, but hopefully you didn't. Yeah, um, not a good thing. Not a good thing. Do you know how inoculations are made? Inoculation of a virus. I learned this at 12 from my mom, my mother. Uh, mother. The flu, they take a culture of the flu from the body and they incubate it and they match it up with the antibodies of the human, like white blood cells or whatever, with a test subject. And then they make a serum from it, right? So the virus itself is part of the inoculation, right? So you have inoculated yourself with the Clovid, the jammy jam, right? That's what they call AIDS and on this the prison, basically, Whaley Avenue, the jammy jam, right? It's a good way to put it. You get the jammy. Yeah, it's fatal. So, like, yeah, you injected yourself with it. The virus is not half living, half dead. No, it's a living predator, like a chimera. They call those things the chimera class, which are an amalgam of all the worst of the worst that have been genetically, constructed to somehow work together, right? It's a colony, basically. It's a colony of a number of different pathogenic, disruptors. Just put it that way. Bovine, equine, the porcine, pork, I guess, they're all represented, like Animal Farm, basically. You look at the patent, you can read it. It's a class. The 19 is the 19th iteration of this thing. SARS-2, another name for it is SARS-2, right? That's a great way to put it. That's by patent, Google patent. You can go and find that. It's not just me. So the only way around even all that, yeah, right here, what we're doing right here, this right here. That's the only survival mechanism against primary, the Frankenstein. The chimera is a better, is a more time-honored word. Frankenstein is the Mary Shelley novel of 18 whatever. Same thing. Chimera is one of those, multifaceted animals. So the head, the feet of a falcon, the head of an eagle, or some such. Griffin. That's another one. The claws, the talons, all predatory, blah, 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 blah. So this right here, this is my happiest moment here, showing you this piece. So I think at this point, what I'm going to do is play a little depression mix, and we'll contemplate this smoke length, I think, song. Just break, you and me both, make some coffee. This is going to be an all-nighter, I think. We're good. All right, where you at? This mix is 2 hours and 33, and I'm at 12:59. 13 minutes into a 2-hour mix. So I get all night, right, all day. It's only 4 in the afternoon here. It's a party. This is my meeting with you guys. I would be going to a meeting tonight, but I'm going to do this video, send you guys mad love. All kinds of, cool shit. Let me mark off here where we're at. So let's find some mix. Yeah. Alrighty, we'll bring it on back. Yay. Onward and upward, right? All right, now it's correct. Our time count is correct because I'm onward and upward. Once I say that, the captain's moved on. Well, the technician actually, but I'm the lead, the chief lead, head number one, ace, alpha number one, tech, etheric, astral. Which one you got? Bicycle. Yep, that one too. Well, maybe not that. I defer to a lot of other people on that. I just have fun with the bike. I don't want to work on them. I want to have fun with them. And only work on if I've broken it or somehow impeding my to-go-ness of the bike. So I have the diagram up so you can see it. I showed you the bigger version. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the thumb, for the thumbnail, for this one, because I like that. So there's me in the middle, the technician, technically showing you how it is. There's over on the left-hand side of me is the girl, with the pretty smile, the Portuguese girl. I'm pretty sure she's from Brazil, from the church, UDV. And over there is the woman there who knows what's going on, who's reading my mind. Okay, so here I am, literally here, my face, with you here, and this one dimension here, and then in another dimensional density, there I am, conceptually speaking, between the two of the, Swanee and, Jackie, who talk among themselves and with the things that I've told them. And this would be one of those things as well. And me certainly explaining this more in a different way, they'll be working it out with themselves on that, the genetical level. Meanwhile, there's that mental component that I connect with, that the guy, the logical part that guys are just more that way. We can explain things logically. That doesn't mean my heart isn't working equally with theirs, but just in a different way, right? The electric side versus the magnetic side, right? So the two women that I'm familiar with, that I'm working with physically, and the girl with the pretty smile, she's not in the picture, but one of them, the two women there that I am, kind of working with, the advanced ones, they connect to each other in a magnetic way that is much different than I connect with them, right? And so there's magic when the two of them work together that can't be beat, right? It's just, the two of them equal one stable person, as I put it. There's a lot of people like that. This toroidal field that connects, that in the Bible it says, wherever two or more are gathered, there I am in the midst. Okay, right? So the teacher, the instructor, there he is in the midst, right? So wherever you gather together to talk in the name of, like me, with this, right? This is the principle, right? It's not me, it's the big guy sitting on the log in the campfire, right? The campground, right? Sitting at the chief, head log, the absolver of all the sins, right? He's throwing it all in the amethyst flame, right? So he's the one that's in the midst of you, but I am the representative, right? Because you don't know him like I do, right? So there I am. I can be the representative for you in the midst, by proxy, the guy over there, grand needs meter, the avatar of the all. And so there it is in the midst, the toroidal field of the awakening. That right there is the thing, the event, right? If there's anything, it's the realizing of it all working together and how it works. That the on switch. Where is the on switch? How does it turn on? Well, there you go. Gather two or more in the midst, and boom, right? Turn it on. And it's difficult. It takes work, right? But practice. So there's an expression that I learned, I'm sure before I incarnated here, that instruction is what the master provides. Conditioning, instruction, direction. Mainly direction is what the instructor provides. Discipline is what the student keeps. Discipline is what the student maintains. Discipline is where the student behaves. How the student behaves, all of that, right? The the adherent, like the initiate, and that's part of the process. Is learning the process and sticking with it. Don't get lost. Things that creatures that walk off, people that walk off the beaten path become sustenance for the things that live off of the beaten path. So you may not know what the right path is, but you'll know soon enough the wrong path. I think that's something I've sort of learned. I think that's the best way to put it, right? Like I learned that. Well, that's one of those expressions I learned at the DUDV, right? The jungle-based religion, the church. Yeah, it is a church, right? The earth, the earth itself is the church, right? The temple, right? She's sacred. She's a mother. She's a temple, right? All that. Divine spirit, right? Creator, being, right? Just absolutely, I couldn't live without the earth right here. Like, I don't even know. I don't know where you couldn't live as a human anywhere else other than Earth. And you wouldn't want to. Earth is a wonderful place to, come visit and be part of. Earth isn't the problem. The beauty of the planet, she's not the problem. She loves just the same, right? No, that's not the. You gave you plants to help you mediate shit. Why'd you make them illegal? What the fuck is wrong with you? Right? That's how you stop the violence, and that's how you give people their rights. Is you'll sit down for some tea, literally some vegetal tea. Trudeau force him to drink some vegetal tea. That's all I gotta say. What's my opinion on the Canadian trucker thing? Have Trudeau sit down for some vegetal tea, and whether he wants to or not, by gunpoint if necessary, force him to drink a big, huge gulp of the vegetal, and you've got to drink it like it's a medical legitimate, right? Shot for shot. I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. I'll take a shot of the jammy jam if you take a shot of the vegetal. Right? Both of them, both those idiots in charge, the lame ducks in charge, right? Pound for pound, right? I'll take a shot for each one of you. Each one of you clowns, each one of you fucking idiots, right? Which one of you wants to go first? Oh, you want to take a medicinal jab, a medicinal shot for your health? There is nothing else a vegetal would do for that thing charge. Either one of those things, those beings sitting in the seats of power of those places, right? Shellfish is just my personal view on that. Onward and upward. All right. Banks of servers and and on the cheery note, all right. So banks of servers and data warehouses is the matrix, Google, the AI, all that shit. If the quantum computers, if you want to look at it, right, if you want to look at it, right, I do, we are, yeah. The mediated experience, all right, new paragraph, I think. All right, hold on. The mediated experience and media, the internet, right, network, all that stuff, the images, JPEGs, whatever, the Schumann, the mediated experience replaces the actual body felt one. This was one of those promises of the new age that it would happen, more threat, I guess, a potential byproduct of it, of the printing press, right, from way back when. Right? Essentially, the printed version replaces the heartfelt, the proper body felt, proper heartfelt, emotional set experience. Right? It's a huge part of the disconnect of the one side of the brain from the other. I think that's a fair way to put it. Right? It's not different from me. I'm simply able to, all right. So yeah, I'm able to kind of express this. I think I'm basing a lot of what I'm saying here on just my own analysis of how my thinking is as a technician, right? And as a writer, we base all of our stuff on our own what we know. I mean, that's part of it is, I'm a technician, right? I am a tech, and I've worked with a lot of different types of stuff, but like, a lot of the longer that a person stays here, the more things become ingrained into the thinking process, right? And I think that's important, like layers of karmic varnish. That's how I put it at one point. And I think that works very well. Karmic varnish of each time you come back into the human form, it's like being dipped in another, density. You're kind of like steeping in another density, soaking in more of, there's more and more and more of this crap. For lack of not this crap, but like the society, what's happening in society around you. And it's kind of stuff that's kind of the time this is the time that it was meant to kind of happen this way, like the breakdown, like it or not. Right? All right, so I'm able to say this, but I'm still going through this with everyone. I'm not different. I am not significantly different. It's not like I'm not going through this myself, right? And trying to figure out what's what based on everything crumbling around me. And the only way I know what's going on is I'm asking the people who do know what's going on, in a language I can understand, and mayhaps or mayhaps not, bring it back to you in a language you can understand, but the words don't cut it. Really, I'm doing the best you can, but at a certain point, the words just fail, right? Fuck them, fuck that. The language is a living thing, and you're like a snake, and a lot of times, or something that can be predatory in some ways, or just the only way to heal the language is to get to the point beyond it, or beneath it, or below it, or around it, or surrounding it, so it can't get away from itself and its damage, the harm it's caused. Right? At what part of the head is causing these pathologies to be, run the show. Just I'll put it that way. It kind of boggles the mind, yet there's a part of this that's part theater that has to play out. The sort of ending of the Piscean epic. There's not another way to put it. Like, this shit has to break down. Like, the last of it has to go in some way or another. We're part of the closing out of the Great Age comes now. Part of the ending of the Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga, and I'm doing a thing on this. Like, hold on. Okay, we're back. All right, so yeah. All right, so this is one of my favorite articles about the Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga. Right? Ending in 2025. End of the Kali Yuga in 2025. Right? Oh, hallelujah. Certainly, the ending of, let me just say this, Pluto comes return in 2024. Middle of July, middle of the year, 2024. Just for what it's worth. You think that these type of things are a thing, then recognize that thing as being a thing, and the thing it is. Like it or not, this really is the wrap up of the wrap up, as I call it. And so he's, this guy knows some shit, right? Now, okay, so whenever you think of Graham Hancock, all right, Graham Hancock is one of my, idols, just for whatever it's worth, as Terence McKenna. And so he's got this gentleman on his website, and who probably I wouldn't have been able to see him elsewhere, I don't think. I wouldn't have been able to figure out any of the stuff he does. So, he's talking about the ages, the different ages, the gold, the silver, the bronze, and this shitty time we're in right now, and so, all right, so this guy, Bibu Dev Misra, is a graduate student of the Indian Institute of Tech and the Indian Institute of Management and has been working as an information technology consultant for more than 14 years. All right, so he's on the ship. But look at this. All right, so he's unraveling the Yuga cycle timeline. All right, so all right, so as I'm talking about Lord Shiva dancing to keeps the oceans churning, he does not text a selfie to keep them going. There are a lot of meaninglessness in the human condition with the technology. Risking life and limb for selfie is such an example. Part of your ascension depends on human divesting him or herself from the plug-in technologies. So you got to keep something in mind this is part of what was planned for this time, And so I want to show you something. I'm going to scroll down here. So when I've been talking about, right, I'm not, just to show you, I'm not some nut job talking about this, the transitional period. You have the descending, there's a transitional period, and then it descends, right? So the in-between period where you have, the period of time in between where it's a transitional period, where one starts, the other one ends. Right? And so that's what they're talking about here is a duration of about 300 years in between them. So there are, that's the marker for the age to come through, right? You need 300 years of overlap between when to get everything set up and all right, so I'm going to leave the link for this so you can read it yourself if you have the month or so that you're probably going to need to get through it, So there's that overlap between the period there where the players are getting ready on the stage, taking their places, and then, bam, it just almost seems to happen overnight. And yeah, you got to be ready. If you're not ready, you get, you're not going to like what happens. But eventually, if you're of the sort, you'll get shit in order relatively quickly, and you'll know your place on the stage. I'll just offer you that, and it may just be to support the people who are more in front of the light than you. Like, that's a thing too. This was one of these things that the subject matter, I think, that I needed to do a video on. I have a browser, one of the browsers I broke it loose and had all of this stuff for one or a bunch of videos, series of videos on the different stuff that's happening, the precession of the equinox. I mean, it's a who's who of what's what, the precession of the equinox, the Kali Yuga. And this one, I keep talking about Everyman. I'll just show you this, right? Everyman. And summoning of Everyman was a morality play. And it was like the Christian salvation, right? Of basically, the Pilgrim's Journey, right? This here, right? Starting from way back here, from, where does it show you? From 1510, right? Circe 1510, circa. Sorry. Circe, that's what that is. Circa 1510, right? So, like this is, we're talking about 400 years ago, so 400 years is an overlap, right? This is Andy Warhol said hundreds of years later, everyone will have, 15 minutes of fame, right? There it is. I don't know if you ever heard of Everyman, but I did. Right? So anyway, so that's one of the things. And so the Kali Yuga, the precession of the equinoxes, all that, I wanted to do a video and explain it because I thought that's the shit I want to do. Right? This. Yeah, the technical, the Schumann resonances, atmospheric electromagnetics, well, yeah, whatever. But, there's also this part, this Ascension update part that has to happen as well, right? None of, pretty much, the rest of anyone, all the shit, right? Good God, what the hell did I decide to take on when I came here? Are you fucking kidding me? What kind of an imbecile was I? Wait, hold on, I gotta get some coffee. You know what, on that cheery note, 303, yeah, right there. What kind of an imbecile am I? Yeah, all right, so I'll get into that. Wait, hold on, where am I? Oh, yeah, Lord Shiva, all right. So, at 303, I'm going to play some music here. So I can get some coffee, and you too. And a smoke, maybe. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. let's bring it back. I'm about to doze off here. All right, we're back, loud and clear. All right, so let me finish this, and that way I can take off to sleep because I was up all night. All right. Yeah, volume. All right. So there's a lot of meaninglessness in the human condition with the technology. Risking life and limb for a selfie is one example. Part of your ascension depends on human divesting him or herself from plug-in technologies, networking out your mind going hive. Human resonances are not making your ears ring, but your electronics are, your unshielded electronics. Much of what a person is experiencing as so-called ascension symptoms is coming from a lack of grounding more than anything, and reliance on the high frequencies of the technology. The Earth is not increasing her frequency. She's reversing polarity. Okay, there's a huge difference. Your electronics will not work properly when they fully, switch. They're failing now. This is why there's such a push for the new and improved technologies and all that, is to get you sucking on the tit of the plug-in and then return to the 93% of the genetics. There is the push of Araman to incarnate. He wants to incarnate into each and every person and is pushing a lot of the agenda behind misidentifying. So I'm saying this in my opinion, right? And misappropriating all the science stuff and all of that. I talked about that. He was there at the beginning, assisting in making humans confused, and no longer able to trust our DNA, right? All right, so this was done in a number of ways to weaken people, basically, from our strength. Is confounding the language is one of those ways. Business and commerce is another way, in my opinion. Mathematics and science is another way. Separate ourselves from ourselves. Ever increasingly higher frequencies are one of those. Living a sedentary life, in my humble view. One of comfort and ease and relaxation means a dependence of some sort on some level, dependence on the machine or some type of plug-in device for survival and support of this lifestyle in those ways. Disconnection from the all, from the greater source, is one of those things. Technology is being used based on the Piscean age protocol, basically, are falling because they're meant to be, essentially. There's numerous ways that humans have distanced and isolated themselves from their very nature and who you are as beings. We, me, us, you, all of us, of what rich storehouse of information house, I guess, you allege within the junk DNA you have, it's a storehouse of information that is largely unaccessed. That's what I'm going to say. It's not coming through the amplitude bursts of increased lightning and all that, the white spikes. That's not, it kind of is, but it's not really, not like they think it is. Rising frequencies are what the machines need. All right. And because the human is so in tune with the machine, this is a natural call for the human entity at this time. Offering you this understanding is why I'm here at this time. There's not another reason for me to have to be here in this form. Basically, I know you might think otherwise, but basically, I'm sick. I'm soul sick. I want to go home for a little while on vacation, and I'll come back. Don't worry. In a different form, though. I need a refreshing, which does not come from the free will Earth zone. Just something outside of this vacation, but what comes from the unification of the pure light of Source. Basically, this is not something Earth School provides, except through the mediation of the plants. So either you can give me the plants or let me go home, basically. I know what the DNA can do, but yet this is a very lonely experience here, as everyone clamors for the technological fix. And yes, the vax is such a thing. I know what awaits. I'll just say, there's a little bit left, the last paragraph. I'll just let you read it. I'm about to doze off. So, I'm gonna play a little bit more music and then kind of take off. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't play music. That's traditional art. So I'm gonna play a couple minutes worth. I just read that, a couple minutes Aaron's mix, and then pass out. Oh, party people. Yeah, there we go.
No party people.
Oh, it is time. That's donuts on my face. Alright, it's time. I gotta go to bed. Lay down. It's 5 in the afternoon, but I've been up all night. Much love. Thank you, everyone. You're wonderful. I appreciate everyone for being here. Thank you. I'll chat with you in the premiere. Alright. Anyway, I'll let you know. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your night.